Good evening, everyone. Mike Palmer from Know Your Rights Group and Success Coaching International with another important live video update tonight. So I have managed to juggle a few things around and squeeze in the time to do one last quick video update before I jet off tomorrow. Again, just a quick reminder, this will be my last video update for a week and a half. The next one will be on Thursday, the 22nd of February. So please do be aware of that. Don't worry if there's no new videos for the next week or so. That's what's going on. And again, I would ask if everyone can please keep all non-essential emails until after I get back on the 20th, so I don't come home to a whole barrage of emails. All right, so let's get straight into it. First up, there were more reports just in the media as recently as today about even more bank branches closing. Now, this is becoming really, really worrying because now it's even affecting major cities, not just the regional areas that we've spoken about before. So this is the article, Closure of Brick and Mortar Bank Locations Picks Up Speed, Inches Closer to Cities. A string of bank branch closures in major cities marks a devastating shift due to impact millions of Aussies. The rapid transition towards a digital banking society is picking up speed, with a string of branch closures in major cities marking an important shift in the priorities of Australia's biggest banks. Now remember, this is a shift in the bank's priorities, not in Australians' priorities. It's only concerned with the banks. Commonwealth Bank announced last week that it would close 3 more branches before March the 1st, including, of all places, Rundle Mall in Adelaide. I mean, you can't get smack bang in the middle of a city more than that. Coolangatta on the Gold Coast and Coogee in Sydney's east. I mean, these are major branches. The week prior, NAB announced it would close 13 branches this year, and Bankwest, which is owned by CBA, will close 2 more branches. These closures will add to more than 2,100 branches that have been shuttered across all major banking institutions over just the past 6 months. 2,100 branches have closed in just 6 months. These are horrendous statistics and ones that should worry every single Australian. Millions of Australians rely on these branches to look after their finances. And for some groups, including the elderly and people living with a disability, they are the only means of banking. Finance Sector Union National Secretary Julia Angrisano said the closures signalled a desertion of an important service that had a devastating impact on communities, particularly those living in regional and remote areas. The banks have been using branch closures to prop up their massive profits for years, and it's time they were forced to maintain customer service to local communities in regional and metropolitan areas, she said. However, the impact on people living in cities should not be diminished, with thousands of people forced to use a shrinking number of branch locations. There are 800,000 people passing through Rundle Mall every week, and many will be CBA customers. However, the bank has decided to shut the branch with the loss of 13 jobs. This is the busiest shopping precinct in Adelaide, but CBA customers and businesses are being told to find a branch elsewhere in the city if they need to visit a bank branch. Coogee is in the middle of Sydney's heavy populated eastern suburbs with many older customers, but that branch is going as well. 3 of the 4 big banks and another 80 other financial institutions have redirected customers towards one of the 3,500 Australia Post outlets where they can use the Bank at Post service to deposit and withdraw cash and make balance inquiries. The banks claim that customers can move to doing banking at the post office, but there are only limited services available at post offices, so that's not a realistic option, and not all banks have a contract with Australia Post. Plus, the purpose of Australia Post is to be delivering items and articles and letters, not for banking purposes. So the more time they're doing banking, the less time they are out there delivering stuff for people, and it's already taking long enough as it is. The services a branch offers its local community are far beyond just cash transactions, with identity checks, loan applications, and a range of other important face-to-face service interactions that are vital to effectively servicing customers. All these interactions have one thing in common, Ms. Angrisano said. They must be performed by a suitably qualified bank worker. They can't be done in a post office. The number of branches in major cities and metropolitan areas has reduced by 39% in the last 6 years. Adam Trevorrow from Australian Prudential Regulation Authority told a federal Senate inquiry in December 2023. 39% reduction in bank branches in just the last 6 years. Okay, so this is really, really concerning, and I urge everybody, please write to your local branch managers, write to your bank CEOs, tell them that you do not agree with, consent to, support this constant closure of branches. And then perhaps if they still choose to ignore that, then give some thought to moving your accounts to other smaller banks or smaller building societies that are not closing branches. Because as always, when the money stops rolling into these big banks and they lose customers hand over fist, they will quickly get the message. But as always, we need people acting together collectively and being proactive in their approach. Now, speaking of the cashless message, of course, this is a very timely reminder to add your signature to Jason's petition. That, of course, is the one to legislate a formal cash and banking guarantee in this country. And obviously that will help put a big dent in this relentless push towards becoming a completely cashless society. Again, there should be a link going up in the comment section of this video. But again, if you just look up petition to legislate a formal cash and banking guarantee, you'll find it there. And of course, on the same point, please do make sure you join our Call Out Cashless's Business Facebook group. It is a great place to name and shame those businesses that refuse to accept cash, and of course nominate those that do promote taking cash. And of course as well, make sure you join that sister group, which is the Cash is King discussion group, and that's a great place to pass these videos and all these stories around, talking about CBDCs and keeping cash alive and all that sort of thing. Okay, so I've obviously spoken, as I mentioned before, about the ongoing branch closures in regional areas, but as you can see, this is now affecting major city locations as well. So again, please ensure that you are proactive with regards to this, because once we lose our access to these physical bank branches and then ultimately to cash, we're going to lose all of the freedoms that go along with that. Now, speaking of things that are affecting cities, there was an article that came out just the other day about these brand new 30-minute cities that are coming now to Sydney. So this is just a short version of a much longer article, but I do urge you to take note at least of the start. And it is entitled, Sydney to Get a Brand New 30-Minute City with Car-Free Streets. Here's what it will look like. Australia's newest city has set high expectations, promising to be greener and more sustainable while promoting car-free streets and quick access to facilities. Bradfield City is being next to Western Sydney Airport in Badgerys Creek, with the first buildings to be ready by the time the airport opens in 2026. Planning documents state the entire aerotropolis will sit on more than 11,000 hectares and that it will be centred around pedestrian-only thoroughfares. Bradfield City will be a 30-minute city, meaning residents will be able to jump on public transport and access all CBD amenities from their home within half an hour. The city will be built as the state government looks to fulfil its ambitious three-city strategy, with Parramatta and Sydney CBD the other two major hubs. The plan is aimed at decentralising work, shopping and leisure activities into regional areas and reduce car use and travel times for residents. The New South Wales government released its master plan. Gee, that doesn't sound like an agenda at all, does it? Released its master plan, hoping to receive community feedback on the design. Well, if they're asking for feedback, then please make sure that you give them the very feedback that they are asking for and let them know exactly what you think about these pervasive steps towards their ever-controlling agenda. Okay, because of course that is what this is all about. Now, we've obviously spoken before on these videos and our radio shows about the 15-minute cities many times, and obviously many people are aware of the obvious issues with them. So I don't know, maybe what they're doing in Sydney is they're trying to, remove themselves from the stigma of 15-minute cities by calling them 30-minute cities. I mean, who knows? But one thing is absolutely for sure, and that is they are most assuredly not being built for the altruistic purposes that, of course, they claim they are. Now, the last article that I do want to share with everyone tonight is a very concerning article about Coles, as in Coles supermarkets, hiring a US defense contractor to help what they call optimizing the Coles workforce. Now, I'm sure you can read between the lines to understand what that really means. But here is the industry article if anybody wants to look this up. It is entitled, Coles has hired US defense contractor Palantir to optimize its workforce. What does the Australian supermarket chain Coles have in common with the CIA? As of last week, both are now clients of Palantir Technologies, a US tech company focused on creating the world's best user experience for working with data. In a 3-year deal, Coles plans to deploy Palantir's tools across more than 840 supermarkets to cut costs and redefine how we think about our workforce. Again, read between the lines, guys. The tech company, named after magical seeing stones from the Lord of the Rings, offers comprehensive software that collects, organizes, and visualizes a client's data in one platform to rule them all. For an intelligence agency, Palantir's tools might help identify a terror cell through phone calls and financial transactions. In a healthcare organization, they might find ways to save money by shortening emergency department stays. For Coles, the goal is to optimize its workforce by analyzing over 10 billion rows of data, comprising each store, team member, shift, and allocation across all intervals in a day, every single day. The announcement is linked to Coles' plan to save $1 billion over the next 4 years and follows a 2019 big data deal with Microsoft, an effort to build robotic delivery centers. There it is, people. And the introduction of customer tracking cameras and other high-tech security measures. Okay, this is what Coles are now implementing. So it goes on, explains a little bit more, and then there's a final section in the article, and it says, what Palantir sells is fundamentally a way of seeing. Its dashboards promise a God's eye view that can stretch across an entire organization or zoom into granular detail to locate that needle in the haystack insight. The claim is that this data-driven view is a shortcut to total knowledge, a way to map every operation, reveal every important element, and identify every inefficiency. Yet the data inevitably excludes significant social, financial, and environmental information. The sweat of workers struggling to pack at pace, the belt tightening of consumers struggling to make ends meet, and the struggle of farmers to survive unexpected climatic impacts will all go untracked. Such details never appear on the platform, and if they're not data, they don't matter. Will Palantir's data-driven myopia translate to how Coles views its workers and customers? By placing Palantir at the heart of its operations, Coles quietly smuggles in several key assumptions: that food is a commodity to be optimized, and that paying for labor is a risk rather than a responsibility, and that data can capture everything of importance. At a time of increased food insecurity, Australians should strongly question whether this is the direction one of our major grocery providers should be taking. So again, please make sure you go and read that article and be aware of it. And of course, if you or anybody that you know actually works for Coles, then I would seriously be thinking about changing jobs sooner rather than later. And of course, for those of you who might shop at Coles, you might want to ask yourself if this is now the kind of supermarket that you want to support moving forwards, now that you know this specific information. So as always, I do urge you to please share this video and of course these articles around as far and as wide as you can on as many different social media platforms as you can, on as many different groups or channels or whatever else as you can, because this latest article that I just read out, of course, that is not in the mainstream media. It's an industry article, and therefore these videos are, one of the only ways that many people are actually able to learn this kind of important information. So please do help them do that by, of course, sharing this around. Now, on that topic, if you or anyone that you know might have missed the last video update that I did on Thursday night, that's where I explained in detail the issue with this King of Australia title and the lack of any legal validity to that title. And of course, most importantly, the far-reaching ramifications of that. Please do make sure that you do watch that video, and you will, of course, find a copy in all the usual places. So finally, as I always do at the end of these videos, is to finish off with some more great memes to get people thinking. Now, the first one that I want to share with you is not actually a meme. It's just some information that's been sent to us that I'm hoping will be quite concerning for people watching this, especially anyone who has young children. So this is a report that Melbourne's Royal Children's Hospital is offering gender-affirming care for children as young as 3. Children as young as 3, in a move described by one Liberal senator as incredibly concerning. Anything that affects anyone as young as 3 is incredibly concerning. Psychiatrists and specialist gender identity clinicians will work alongside children aged 3 to 17 as long as they have a referral from a GP. The first step, known as stage 1, is to introduce puberty blockers, a reversible step available to children in the early ages of puberty. Problem is, that's a lie. It's not actually reversible. Later, around the age of 16, the clinic is able to move on to stage 2, which involves using gender-affirming hormones, estrogen or testosterone, to change the body to be more consistent with the teenager's affirmed gender. So, again, if this concerns you, if this is worrying to you, I would urge you to write to the Royal Children's Hospital in Melbourne and let them know your thoughts. Write to the Health Minister, write to your local Member of Parliament and let them know your thoughts about this. Because if you don't speak up, they were just going to continue with this absolute insanity. All right, now we've been speaking obviously a bit before about Coles, obviously supermarket. So I thought this was a very apt meme to share with everybody. And as it says there, if the grocery store has a section for health food, then what exactly is the rest of the store? Let you guys figure that one out for yourselves. Now, again, we're talking about these 30-minute cities and climate change and why we need to get rid of cars because of carbon dioxide. And I covered this, I did a great little graph on the last video that I did. But again, here is some more very crystal clear information and some very clear statistics that tell you the truth about this nonsense that the media and the governments keep trying to spout. Did you know Australia's input of carbon dioxide is equivalent to 1 grain of rice from a 1.75 kilo bag of rice? Just picture that, a 1.75 kilo bag of rice, and Australia's carbon dioxide output is 1 grain of rice. You are being conned of your future. Percentage of carbon dioxide, CO2 in the atmosphere, 0.04%. Percentage of that 0.4% worldwide created by human beings, just 3%. Percentage of the 3% of the 0.04% created by Australians, just 1.3%. Okay, these are the statistics. So please don't buy into this rubbish. Oh, we need to eliminate cars, or we need to move to electric vehicles because, you know, these gas guzzlers are polluting our environment and all the rest of this rubbish. And oh my goodness gracious me, the east coast of Australia today has had some, you know, extreme temperatures. They're not that extreme. They weren't even 40 in many places. Okay, I'm sure any of you who are watching this that are anywhere, you know, around my age can remember back to when you were kids, and you would get, you know, days on end over 40, you know, a week on end over 35, where the temperature never ever dropped. Okay, this is nothing like what we're experiencing now. There is no heat wave. There is no, you know, climatic concern that, you know, people need to be worried about. Okay, and then the final thing that I want to discuss is a post that was put on our call out cashless businesses group that should just get people thinking about, again, the importance of using cash at every opportunity. So this person's commented, I see several comments questioning the validity of claims around how much the average Australian spends on bank fees. Average salary as per ATO publications in 2019-20 was $63,882. Now, I dare say that's gone up in the last 3 or 4 years. For simplicity, that person gives 35% in tax. They're left with $41,523 to spend. If every purchase was on card with a 2.5% fee, that's $1,038. And again, those figures have almost certainly gone up. So that's over $1,000 that everybody who uses that tap and go process is just throwing away, or worse still, not only just throwing away, but giving to the greedy banks, who in turn are rewarding you with their greed by shutting down more branches. Do you see the insanity that people buy into, and they're just, oh no, there's nothing to see here, no problem here. People are throwing away an average of $1,000 a year, giving it to the banks, and the banks are saying, thanks, that's great. We want to make more money though, so we're just going to close these branches. That said, we should not rely on avoidance of card fees as the primary motivation to keep cash alive or inform NPCs. Doing so will only motivate the banks and globalists to place a fee on use of cash. But again, cash is king, and we have to stop giving money to these banks, okay, that do absolutely nothing in return for us. So I am going to leave things there for tonight. As always, I do urge you to make use of all of the various resources that we do have to please get informed, get fired up, and get proactive. We do need that this year more than ever before. Of course, the best way to do that is through all of the completely free information that's on our websites, all of these videos that are completely free to watch. You'll find them on our BitChute channel, the videos tab on our Facebook page, and also on our YouTube channel as well. Now, just a reminder, as I mentioned on the start of tonight's video, there's no live video next Thursday or next Sunday. I'll be back the following Thursday, which I think is the 22nd. And again, there's no live radio show next Tuesday, but we will be back the following week. So again, I urge everyone to use this time with no new information coming in to just go back and spend some time reviewing and researching whatever topics are of interest or concern to you. And again, be proactive, take action to achieve whatever results you are trying to achieve in those particular areas or in regards to those particular topics. But don't use this as an excuse to, oh, we won't worry about it, I'll just wait till Mike's back. No, use this time to research and take action. Again, please do understand that I'll have little to no phone or internet connection for the next week. So again, I do ask anyone to please leave any non-essential emails until after the 21st of February, so I don't have to return to a whole barrage of emails. But again, obviously, all orders will still go out as normal on the day or the following day that they are received through our order processing group. So again, there's links in the description, but in regards to any orders, we do of course recommend our Know Your Rights book, the essential step-by-step manual for understanding and exercising your rights. Covers a range of really important topics, many that most people don't even know about. That Aussie Speeding Fines book, which I've spoken about many times before, that tried, tested and proven 3-step process for challenging any type of unjust or unlawful fines. So traffic fines, COVID fines, unregistered dog fines, whatever it is, you can use that process. These guys are now in their 17th year of operation, so you know their information works. And of course, we do understand a lot of people are struggling financially, so please stop throwing good money after bad at these unsecured loans, your credit cards, personal loans. Again, use that tried, tested and proven 4-step process for discharging or eliminating any of those debts. So again, you'll find links in the description, you'll find links in the comments. You can purchase these individually, you can get them all as part of the combo pack at a little bit of a discount, and of course you do get the Know Your Rights shopping tote bag with that as well. No extra charge. We do of course still have our caps and beanies. I'm not sure that there's much use for beanies at the moment, but we do have them. Anyone who wants to get in early for winter, again, great things to have. People see the logo, they come up, they have a chat to you. Easy way to meet like-minded people. And then finally, of course, we do have that home study course. It is a complete recording of one of our 2.5-day live events. It's over 17 DVDs, 3 custom-made workbooks, sections to write all of the notes next to every single slide from every single presentation. Pause, rewind, fast forward in the comfort of your own home at your own pace. Really, really great product to get that you'll keep coming back to again and again over the years. Now, speaking of the live events, we are very, very, very close to locking in the final event. So as soon as we have all of the dates locked in, what I will do, as long as I have internet access, is I will post those up onto the site so people can pencil those dates in. And then we've got a little bit of work to do on the back end of the system so that we can make the tickets available. And that's what we'll be doing, hopefully, fingers crossed, on the next radio show when I come back from the break, making all those tickets available with that early bird discount as always. So people who want to get to these live events are able to do so. So keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, have a fantastic week, everybody. And I'll speak to you all in about a week and a half. Take care.